Hello everyone, welcome to Rachel Pichler Yoga. Just in case we haven't met before, my name is Rachel. Today we're doing a nice full body flow, so find a little bit of space to move and let's get started. So we will begin today in just a nice comfy seat. You might start with your hands on your knees and maybe you are sitting cross-legged, but maybe not. You can let your eyes close though and take a slow, deep breath in, bringing some length into your spine, followed by a deep breath out. Do that again, a nice slow, deep breath in and out. Let's do that one more time. A deep breath in and a deep breath out. Now, if you want to, you can stay sitting tall. And if you do want to tip forwards, you could start to walk the hands along the ground in front of you and maybe take a little tip forwards. See how that feels on your body. See if your body allows you to tip forwards. And then just start to make your way back up. If your legs are crossed, you can cross them the other way. See how that feels. But bring your hands back to your knees. Close your eyes again. Take another slow, deep breath in to lengthen through the spine. And let it go. Do that again. Deep breath in and out. And one more time. Slow, deep inhale. And let it go. Awesome, you guys. You can stay here, seated tall, or you could start to tip forwards again and see how this side feels. Go as low as you want to go, or skip this part. But then you can slowly lift again if you fold, and then uncross your legs if they happen to be crossed. Give the knees a little bit of a squeeze, a little bit of a hug. We're going to make our way into tabletop onto our hands and knees. So you can spread your fingers out wide. You can give your hips a little bit of a sway side to side, and then take a big inhale and drop your belly down. Lift your chest, maybe your chin too. With an exhale, round the spine, squeeze the belly in, tuck your chin. Inhale again, drop your belly, arch your back. And exhale as you round. One more breath here. Inhale, drop down, lift your chest. And exhale, lift your belly up. Nice, you guys. Come back to just a nice long spine. Tuck your toes and lift your knees into downward facing dog. You might pedal your feet, bend and straighten the knees, but push into your hands. Let your head be heavy. Take a slow, deep breath in and out. Using another inhale. You can look forwards to your hands and exhale as you walk up to the top of your mat. Once you get there, inhale for a half lift. As you exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, reach up. Exhale as you lower your arms down to your sides. Take a shoulder roll, spread your fingers wide. Inhale as you reach up, and exhale, slowly folding all the way down. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach up, stand tall. Exhale as you lower your arms to your sides. Take a shoulder roll if you want one. And inhale as you reach back up. Exhale, start to fold forwards. Inhale into a half lift. As you exhale, fold. We're going to plant our hands. Step your feet all the way back into your downward dog. You can bring your feet together. We're going to start to lift our left foot up into the air, any amount. Maybe it's really high that you bend your knee and kind of look to the left and turn your belly button to the left side too. Maybe you can feel your hip a little bit. Take another inhale here. As you exhale, bring your left foot down next to the right one. Push into your hands again. Take a deep breath in and lift the right foot up. Maybe bending the knee, maybe not, but maybe you're opening it up a little bit. Stay for a nice big inhale. As you exhale, your right foot's gonna come down next to the left one. Take an inhale to look forwards. And as you exhale, walk your feet to the top of your mat. Once you get there, inhale for a half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, reaching up. Exhale, lower your arms down to your sides. Take a shoulder roll if you want one. We're going to step our feet out, go to the edges of the mat, and turn your toes out slightly as well. So we're going to start to bend our knees, lower our hips as low as we can go into a little bit of a squat. And then we're going to tip forward so that we plant our hands on the ground. Leave your left foot where it is and take your right foot back towards the middle of your mat. You can lower your right knee down. You can adjust that back leg if you need. And then adjust the front foot too. We want the knee to come out to the side, the toes to be pointing out on an angle, your hands under your shoulders in lizard, sinking into the hips. Now we're gonna be coming right back to that squat. So take your time for sure, but you might start by tucking your back toes under. The goal will be to bring the right foot to the edge of our mat, back into our squat. So maybe you kind of step it up, walk it up. Maybe you take one big leap, big step to get your foot back to where it was. Lower your hips down, find your deep squat, and then you can straighten your legs. Take a moment, but then start to come right back. Bend your knees, lower down, eventually planting the hands and taking the left foot back towards the middle of the mat. You can lower the knee, adjust the back leg as needed, the front foot too, sinking into the hips, into your lizard. Take a moment. Get ready to bring your left foot back to where it was. You might be tucking your back toes. You might step it up, or you might take one big step. But find your way back into your deep squat. Start to lift the chest, lift the hands, and then you can come all the way up to standing as well. You can bring your feet back in together, or at least closer together. Take a shoulder roll if you want one. As you inhale, reach up, and exhale, start to fold forwards. Inhale as you lift halfway up. Exhale, folding back down. Plant your hands, step back into your downward facing dog, pushing into the hands. Send your hips nice and high. Stay for an inhale. As you exhale, lower your knees down to your mat, into your tabletop. Maybe take a little sway of the hips side to side. We are going to be extending our right leg back though, so you can tuck the toes, push the ball of the foot into the ground. You can keep your foot down, or you could float it. You could add your left arm, find your balance. If your right foot's floating, point your toes down. If your left hand is floating, let your palm face down, spread your fingers wide. Take another inhale. As you exhale, come back into your tabletop. Send your left leg back. Tuck the toes, push into the ball of the foot. Decide if you want the foot to stay down or to float it. Point your toes down if you're floating it. Maybe adding your right arm, palm down, fingers spread wide as well. Breathe. Balance. One more inhale. As you exhale, come back into your tabletop. Take a little sway through the hips, side to side. Now we're going to be coming back for our lizard. So coming into it a different way this time though. We're going to just bring our left foot forwards like we're coming into a lunge. And then we can heel toe our foot to the left side. Toes out on an angle, knee out to the side, hands under the shoulders. You might tuck your back toes and lift the knee for a moment just to adjust the back leg, but then sinking into the hips. You might even add a little sway, but you also might not. Find your breath. Now we're just going to be bringing this left foot back to the middle of our mat so that we can find our tabletop again as gracefully as we can. Maybe a little bit of a sway through the hips first, and then when you're ready to switch sides, you can bring your right foot forwards, setting up a lunge, heel toe your foot over, bring your hands under your shoulders. Maybe lift the back knee for a moment and then bring it down. Sink into your hips. And just enjoy a moment here. We can begin to heel toe our foot back to center when you're ready, and then pushing back and into tabletop as well. Maybe a sway through the hips side to side. Now we're going to be reaching our arms forwards for our puppy dog stretch. If you want your knees to stay hip width apart, they can. If you want your knees to go out wide, they can. Let your feet go out wide as well if your knees are going out wide. And then take a big reach forwards, either from the fingertips or the palms, and let the chest get heavy. Maybe resting on the chest and the chin, maybe resting on the forehead. But a moment to enjoy your puppy dog stretch. Take just one more breath. And then let an inhale bring you back into tabletop with your knees under your hips, your hands underneath your shoulders. We're just going to cross our ankles. We're going to take a seat. So if you would like to give your knees a little hug or squeeze, maybe a rock side to side. We are just gonna lean back a little bit. So maybe you can hold on to the back of your legs or reach past your knees, but lean back a little bit so you feel your belly turn on, your core turn on, and then squeeze your belly button back towards your spine while you try to relax your shoulders away from your ears. You can keep your feet down, or you can kind of start to walk. Maybe it's just the big toes that touch and lift. Maybe it's the whole foot. But you can kind of lift one foot at a time. You can skip this part. Get light through the feet, soft through the shoulders and the face, and strong through the core and the back. And if you're walking your feet, the next time they come down, keep them down. And lean forwards a little bit. Give your knees a squeeze. Let your knees start to fall out wide. as you bring the soles of your feet together. Take an inhale to lengthen through the spine. You can stay sitting tall. You could walk your hands in front and away and see how low the chest wants to go with just gravity assisting you, not pulling yourself down in any way. If you are tipping forwards, you can start to lift back up. Bring your knees together again. Give them a squeeze. Maybe a rock side to side. We are gonna lay down on our backs. You might bring your knees to your chest or just keep your feet on the ground. But if you want a little bit of a rock side to side, you can add in some movements. And we're going to be bringing our feet towards the edges of our mat, so you can bring them down if they are up. So feet out wide as well as the knees. You can turn your toes out a little bit too, kind of like our squat, and then bring your arms to your sides. Start to lift your hips up. Push into your feet, give your glutes a squeeze, lift your hips and lift your chest as well. Let your knees stay open. Let your chest lift a little higher. Take another inhale here. And as you exhale, slowly let your hips come down all the way to the ground. So we're going to try to keep our feet wide, our knees wide, but lift our feet off of the ground. So see if you can place your hands on the inside of your knees just to keep them wide. Let the feet stay wide too, and just kind of slowly guide the knees kind of towards the top of your mat, but keeping them out wide and the feet out wide as well. Relax your ankles. Give your low back a little bit of encouragement into the ground beneath you. You can continue to hold on to the inside of the knees, or you might lift the feet up and hold the feet for your happy baby, but knees out wide, feet out wide, and then gluing the low back to the ground as well. If you did grab a hold of your feet, slowly let them go. Let them kind of fall back to where they were. So your knees are going to stay wide. Your feet are going to stay wide. But your feet are starting to lower back down towards the ground. But pause and see if the knees can open just ever so slightly more. Eventually, your feet will come all the way down. I want them maybe to be on the edges of your mat still. And then you're going to let your knees, and maybe even help your knees, start to tip towards one another. Tip all the way to the middle. You can adjust your feet if needed. Bring them in a little bit if you need. Maybe turn the toes to point in slightly. And if you've still got your feet out a little bit wider, just kind of heel toe, then maybe all the way back together, maybe not quite that far. But if you wanted to give your knees one more hug, you might lift your head and your shoulders, maybe take a rock side to side. And then we can find our way into Shavasana, just like that. Send your legs out long, your feet out wide. Bring your arms to your sides too, with your palms up. Make any wiggles, adjustments that you need so that you're comfy, you're relaxed. Feel your body heavy against the ground beneath you. And stay here for as long as you have time for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day, and until next time, namaste.